Where do I begin? Really, I guess the thing that happened to me is I kind of have the typical story where I grew up in church. My parents went to church every Sunday. I was kind of on the periphery, just kind of always checking it out. I married my high school sweetheart after my freshman year in college, and then starting out life with her, kind of both going to school. It's kind of tough, and I've always been the kind of person when I do things my way. I know the right way. Your way is probably the wrong way. When you want to come around and listen to me, then we'll talk. And it wasn't that I was trying to go against the Bible or like live my life my own way. I wasn't engaged in it. It was just, I was engaged in school and sports and other things, and it just wasn't a big part of me. I remember there was something in me that wanted to know God more, because I had kind of learned a lot about Him, and I knew I'm off on my own now. I have a wife to take care of, and my wife and I were kind of slipping apart a little bit, and I didn't like that, because I didn't want that to end in divorce 10 years later for us. I knew it would be easy for us to be a statistic because we got married when we were 19. So I kind of had this growing dissatisfaction with not really experiencing God, this growing dissatisfaction with not being able to see my marriage be as fruitful as I wanted to. So I signed up for a marriage conference. The second night we were there, on a Saturday night, they were just talking about Genesis, I think, and how they were just talking about how a wife was a gift from God, and just some really plain things, just plain biblical things that for some reason really struck a chord with me. So I remember picking up a workbook, which is kind of silly, but it was a workbook on experiencing God. And I remember going through that workbook like, I want these stories for myself, and I don't have that kind of relationship with God, but I want it. So it was a major realization for me of how to walk in this life, how to walk where God is your all in all, where you are willing to give up everything for Him. And I remember praying a prayer that night where I said, God, I'm done doing it my way. I would worship and pray for hours every day. I would help my wife with the dishes. I would clean up all around the house. I was a servant. It was amazing. I was so full of faith during that time where I would literally ask God, say, God, bring a dead person across my path, because I will pray for them. And they'll get along. When our heart can be free from condemnation, we can boldly go before God. And that's how I felt. I felt completely free to ask God anything and know that He would answer.